Do you want to know how you spot the handler in the illegal pro, the espionage, the gang stalking? You want to know how to spot the handler because you see it through the street theater. You'd be surprised how fake this world is and the people, right? You could see how fake the interactions are. You see through the fake laughter, even when people's around, like amongst you when they talk to each other. You see how fake it is. It's not authentic. You can see the groups together. A lot of these people don't like each other, but they tolerate one another, right? They, you can see it. You can see the fake hugs that they give one another. They don't even like it. You see that. You see it. You feel it. You can see it's not genuine. So that you see through the street theater. So how you spot who the handler is? You see it more when you relaxing. And when I mean relaxing is like when you walking outside. Like let's say you find a spot to relax at, by a park, by the water, maybe a bench, somewhere, a place where you relaxing. The handler's always gonna appear. And then they have their actor and actress, because you got actors out here. So what happens is, because you can spot them as well, even while you're walking. I want you to pay attention to like when they send, because it's spiritual. You've seen a lot through the flesh, but it's spiritual. So when they send a female your way, walking past you, and she's looking how she's looking, you be like, okay, that's a honeypot, that's a Jezebel. You can feel it, you can see it. That's a Delilah. The handler's always around. It's gonna be like either right behind that person, right behind, or if they send somebody to watch you like up ahead, when you see, all right, it's already that little spot that up the block is already set, it's staged, there's people already set there, or the groups you can see, right? Because they look at you, they call one another spiritually. So if there's somebody around you, and if they want to use a provoking spirit or something like that, the handler is gonna be not in the midst of the actor and actress who they send. They're gonna be around. You're gonna see them, but the actor, actress, spiritually though, those people are gonna look directly at the handler for who sent that group. They're gonna look at that person, and that person is always gonna signal them, coding it. The tactics don't change. They do that, they do this, they do the flicking. But the people, the actor, actress who they looking at the handler, they all look at one another. But they look at you too because they feel the energy. But monitoring spirits know spirits, right? They look at each other, they speak to one another. So they're gonna look at their handler. So if it's a situation where it's gonna be a provocation or imitation, they will send two people in the front to fight each other, to try to throw you over, intimidate, or try to bring that negativity around you. To be like, all right, they arguing, and it's acting. You can see through that the fakeness. But the handler's in the background with the phone, monitoring, watching, or having it face your way, or looking like they're recording, so that way, in case something goes down or they want to be around your way, they could create something on you or have something on you on film, but it was all staged, right? But the handler's always around. So always with the ladies too, when they send a honey pot, a honey trap, a Jezebel, Delilah, when they walk, this is while you're walking outside. They'll walk past you, and the handler's always in the back. They close to each other. They're always right there. And so let's say when you decide to sit at a park, you sit down, you by the water. Now pay attention to the benches or wherever you at your environment, right? A lot of the times there's gonna be people there, or it slowly starts to get filled. Now pay attention to the person because the handler is always gonna either sit somewhere around you or they're gonna be standing somewhere, but they're not gonna be doing too much. They're gonna be observing. Now, when the actor and the actress, people come, they wait for the signal for their handler. They have to look at the handler, and the handler does this or does this, but he's watching them, and they always flicker and they always code one another, and they always do that. Now they look at the handler, and when the handler gets the code and the cue, now the acting starts. Now they doing the fake talking, or maybe now they're gonna start playing sports around you, or they're doing the stage. But as they're moving and as they're trying to be authentic and all that, you can see through the fakeness. You can see through a stage. It's like they're reading a script, but the handler's there. And the interesting thing is that you also see handlers when it comes to your family too. When it comes to your family too, because let's say a person's walking in front of you, and when they turn a corner, for instance, here comes a familiar face. It's a family member. It could be your own mother, your own father, brother, sister, uncle, aunt. Somebody you be like, wait, what? But the handler came first, and they crossed on cue, and the handler does the coding, and you end up seeing your own mother, father, because it's spiritual. But you see them do the signal too, and you be like, damn, familiar, non-familiar. But it's you see, but that's their handler. You see it. You see it. And those closest to you, just like all of a sudden when you start seeing random pop-ups of people who you would have never seen or expected, and they just pop out of nowhere along your walk or waiting for you somewhere, they looking at the handler first. Then they're gonna look at you, but they looking at the person who sent them. And that person is gonna be somewhere far, but they looking at the handler. And the handler waits the signal, but they breaking their neck watching to observe. The handler's always around. That's how you spot the handler. They wait for the signal, the code. They be around. Watch them. Tactics don't change. It's gonna be everywhere. You gotta watch them. But you see them more when you in a spot where you sitting at, when you comfortable at, relaxing and chilling. Then you see how it plays out, because that's when they're gonna be planted, sitting somewhere. Then you see the actors and actresses or the groups that's ready to do their little script. But they look at the handler first, and then the person codes. And it's like, okay, now they're aware. And then they start doing that as they're playing around. And then you got the people who walk past you doing fake pictures with each other, talking, and they be so far away from you. All of a sudden, they right where you sitting at, or right around you, just standing there, because it's like, okay, the energy vampires, and it's like they got to do things close. Or you be like, really? But peep it, man, peep it. Especially when you see the monetary spirits, the gangstalkers, the people who you spot that's illegally watching, but it's spiritual. You pay attention to the people. There's a car, right? It'll be this way. Pay attention to the person across the street, monitoring, and they both are, but the person is talking to the car. The driver across the street is either gonna be a red car, is either gonna be a blue car, is gonna be a black car tinted, no plates, one headlight, one fog light, one tail light, brake light, but the car's always gonna be parked. You're gonna see a lot of cars parked, but pay attention to the person across the street, because they're gonna be talking to the person. But when they see you, they coding the person across the street, flicking, fidgeting, signing. They're giving signs, but the person's like literally across the street, wearing either pieces of red or blue. Pay attention to those colors. But you see them right across the street. So if you see, let's say on this one block, you make that left, and you see a car parked there, and you see the person, they not by the car talking to the driver, they across the street, and they acting like they talking to the person. And as you walking, you see the person across the street, they look at you. Now as they talking, and the driver over there, it's like they coding one another, right? Then if you turn another block along your walk, now you see the same thing with the same pattern, different people, a different color car, and they coding each block, how they monitoring. Then you're gonna end up seeing, you hear the quiet, the siren, see. Then pay attention to the people who now are close to the car. They talking to the driver. They might even have blue flip flop, blue sneaker, a piece of the same colors that you see, because they gotta have color coding, and they're looking at you and they coding one another. Or sometimes you have the person who's already waiting on the block, waiting, and all of a sudden on timing, they're waiting to now walk to their car on timing and to get in. I'm telling you, you see what you see, and you see your family participate in that. And you see they do the same thing with whoever's their handler, man. They cold, and you see the people and you just look at, you go, damn. You see it. You see them. They think you don't, but you see them. And pay attention to the people who, It's like you just have to watch. Because the conversations they have around each other, as soon as you get close, on timing, the conversation stops. And now the walks begin. Either they breaking ways, parting ways, right on cue as you coming through, but they talking and they looking at you and then they talking a little fakeness. And then it's like as soon as you getting close and minding your business, part ways, and now this person is now starting to walk your way. Pay attention to the person across the street as you walking this way, but this one is over here. You can see through your peripheral that they keep breaking their neck at you and trying to keep the same pace from across the street like you and coding and copying. Pay attention, man. You see them, but you can see the handlers, man. You see them more like when you chilling, relaxed. Because they all look at their handlers. They all look at who's involved. And the handler signals first and codes, and then you see how it plays out. But that's how you spot them. Always wearing those pieces of red, blue, even when they're not, but they still got to make these little noises and signs that they do. So, that's all. Your family's a part of that too, man. I'm telling you. Just observe, just watch.